Hi folks, welcome to Rainforest Flora once again. I'm standing here today with a beautiful specimen of Tillandsia victoria. Tillandsia victoria was made as a hybrid back in the 1960s, and it has parents of Tillandsia ionantha and Tillandsia brachycaulus. And you can see both parents in this. You can see the brachycaulus, it's a larger plant, and is that good?
Towards me.
I'm trying to follow the directions here.
Towards me.
Okay, so how about that's more in focus? Okay. Anyway, it's a beautiful plant. It's usually green, but when it flowers, the whole plant turns red to attract hummingbirds to pollinate it. And it has its first flower open. The flower is very typical for subgenus Tillandsia. The three floral petals that make up the corolla. It's a tubular arrangement. The purple styles come out that have the anthers on the end. That has the pollen, which is used by the hummingbirds. It goes from plant to pollinate them. And then the female part is the white stigma on the end. So it's very easy to see on this plant how the floral parts are arranged.
And Paul, on the website, this would be under store and then hybrids. Where would we find that?
Yes, this would be under the hybrid section. You would go to www.rainforestflora.com and then go to store and then go to hybrids, and that's Tillandsia victoria.
And then with Eric. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing fine. I'm a recent Tillandsia convert. I read an article in San Diego Magazine about it and found rainforests and literally flipped. I've been here about 4 or 5 times. I think these plants are just absolutely magic, and I brought my wife down once, and we are now in the process of doing a 3x4 foot grate filled with Tillandsias. Hopefully I won't need a second mortgage, but I'm just thrilled and delighted to have found these beautiful plants.
And one of the great things, Eric, is they're easy to take care of, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's very zen for me to go around and spritz them in the morning every now and then, and once in a while I give them a dunking, and they just love it. They're just beautiful. They're thriving, and we live basically in a desert near Anaheim, California.
Eric, thank you so much.
A pleasure, and I'll be back.
Thank you.
Isley again at Rainforest Flora, and in this segment I want to show you some of the nicer Tillandsias. You know, Tillandsias grow in a multitude of different hybrids and species and cultivars, and some of them are very inexpensive and beautiful little plants, and then some of them are very rare, big, and beautiful, and they're a lot more money. So today we're going to show you some of those latter. This is a form of Tillandsia bulbosa called Gigante. These go for about $20 or so. They're not so expensive, but you can see that it's a larger form of bulbosa that actually can get much larger than this, and they turn bright red when they flower. Here we have a clump of Tillandsia funkiana Herb Hill. Herb Hill is one of the great hybridizers of bromeliads. I've known him for close to 40 years. He lives in Florida, and this form is part of a group of funkiana that was grown into the biggest clump you ever saw. It's about 4 feet tall and 2.5 feet thick now after about 48 years of growing.
Wow.
And Herb had it for about 20 years. But this is the form that one is. There are many different forms of funkiana. I like this one a lot. It's a very bright green, and you can see when funkiana flowers how special it is. Very few Tillandsias have a large coral-colored inflorescence like this.
I'm going to say
great plant.
It looks much more orange than the regular funkianas.
Yes. And also, here's one. This is called Tillandsia Marvelous Masterpiece. And Marvelous Masterpiece is a hybrid of Rothii and brachycaulus. And when they color up, when they bloom, they are spectacular. It's one of the most attractive, most showy of all the Tillandsias. Not all of them turn red, which is interesting. We don't know why. Some stay more green and some just turn this brilliant red like this. This one's in the middle of the flowering. and you can see the past blooms on this one as well.
Beautiful.
And here we have one of many people's most favorites. This is called Tillandsia Buck Compton, named after one of the Easy Company soldiers in World War II. Buck was a good friend, and you can see the curling on the leaves of this hybrid of Tillandsia fasciculata and Tillandsia ionantha. And it gets to be very large and gets a lot of color, besides having this fantastic shape.
And it's sort of got a stubby spike, a stubby inflorescence.
Well, that comes from the ionantha.
Parrot.
Anytime you have an inflorescence or a lack of an inflorescence, that's dominant. If you have two species and one of them has a fantastic inflorescence and the other one is a fantastically beautiful plant and it doesn't have an inflorescence, wouldn't it be nice if you had a great inflorescence combined with the wonderfully shaped plant? But you don't. You don't.
But
It always kind of disappears.
But it's giant.
But it is
It's
giant.
giant.
No, it's a gorgeous plant. Yeah,
It's a
everybody
Dr.
loves
Seuss
this
plant.
one. And this is a Tillandsia latifolia divaricata. You can see that it's many years old, growing along a stem like this. You hang it upside down if you like, and it will turn around, curve, and grow toward the light. Or of course you can mount them to start with vertically and they will just go straight up. And as they bloom, they'll send out their inflorescence. The offsets will grow from the base of the inflorescence, and that's why the stem stays. It just keeps going like this. They don't grow at the base of the plant, they grow from the base of the inflorescence. That's called acrotonal when they do that. And we've got a couple of more here. This one, this is pretty cool. This is Tillandsia Intermedia. It's a large form. If I hung it, it would be about 4 feet, or well over a meter. Maybe 120 centimeters, something like that. But so that you can see it around me, here it is, and it offsets out of the inflorescence. So you can see that if I had a third hand here, you can see that there are 2 offsets coming off of this inflorescence on this latest plant. The ancestral plant in my right hand just has a few leaves left. It has an offset coming out here still. It has a second offset here, and then it had the inflorescence with this offset that's now producing this inflorescence, and so it goes. And over time they can develop into a clump that's 3 meters tall and 1 meter wide with hundreds of plants on it. This is
Wow, beautiful.
This is probably a hybrid of Tillandsia tenuifolia amethyst and Tillandsia stricta. And it's just in the middle of blooming. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it is beautiful. And this one is emblematic of what Tillandsias can do when you buy one plant and you hold it for 3 or 4 years, you grow it, and they offset after they flower, and in a short period of time you have a big clump like this with multiple blooms. And lastly, we have
Wow.
a large clump of Tillandsia streptocarpa. It's similar to Dorati, but different. The flower petals on this one are huge. They are very fragrant.
I can smell it from here, 5 feet away.
Yeah, it's a fabulous plant. It does not get as large as a Dorati. The leaves generally do not recurve on the tips like a Dorati does, and the flowers are just different enough for it to be its own species. Streptocarpa is not common, and it is beautiful. I'm going to lower this a little bit so you can see the top of it.
We panned up, but okay. Oh, there it is. Wow.
So, anyway, Tillandsia streptocarpa. Hope everybody has a great time out there. Oh, one other thing I want to tell you about.
I think you got a sale coming up, don't you, Paul?
We do. Wendell made a great sign for us. There it is.
It looks like the sign they have when you're arrested. Hold it to one side.
Anyway,
Hold
we're
it
having
level,
a sale
level,
here
level.
for those who don't live too far away. The weekend of July 23rd and 24th, the big summer sale. So come on down or come on up, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Paul.